mean, we just came out slow, and that's more to blame than anyone. Just got to be, those possession downs, third downs, got to be more, got to convert. And so we had opportunities, and guys were in the right spots, and it's just kind of a team effort. And we'll get back, watch the film, but I mean, I gotta be better in those situations and give our team a chance to extend drives.
Everybody, welcome inside the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex for this week's edition of the Steelers Roundtable. Mason Rudolph getting his first start in San Francisco. We're going to talk a lot about that and much more as the Steelers fall to 0-3 on the season, still looking for their first win in 2019. I'm Missi Matthews, joined today by an excellent panel. We have Matt Williamson, our good friend from Steelers Nation Radio. Matt, thanks for being here.
Great to be
also,
here.
Bob Pompiani from KDK TV. You hear him on the call for the Steelers preseason games. And also Craig Wolfley, the former offensive lineman who does not have a birthday today. Shout out to Tunch Ilkin, who is his jersey number and age. Just saying.
He's
he told
still
me.
looks 20 years younger.
Yes. All right, guys. It is not what people wanted. Mason Rudolph getting his first start. We finally saw Minkah Fitzpatrick, but did not go the Steelers' way. Pomp, I'll start with you. What can you put your finger on that really went wrong yesterday?
Well, inability to convert on turnovers. I thought San Francisco made it pretty obvious. We didn't want to win this game. Here, Steelers take it. And they had so many opportunities. Opportunity was knocking, and they did not answer. They took field goals where they had short enough fields where you have to believe on the road, especially, Missi, you got to get touchdowns. And they didn't do that. So as a result now, instead of being up maybe by 2 touchdowns or 17 points, they're up only, 6-3 at halftime. Mm-hmm. And I knew once that opportunity happens and you don't take advantage, you guys have been around football all your life. Normally it comes back to haunt you. And that came back to haunt
bite you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, if you and Tunch were talking about it the whole time on the broadcast yesterday
Exactly
as well.
so. I mean, when you get takeaways, and especially when the takeaways have been like a little scarce, the thing you got to do is you got to pounce on them and use those to your advantage. What a great opportunity with the young quarterback being out there. Garoppolo may be coming a little unwound and everything, and you don't do anything but come away with 2 field goals in that first half. The game should have been all but over in the first half, and unfortunately they didn't capitalize on it.
Matt, is there anything else that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% right. I mean, give the defense credit. They were flying around the ball. They looked like a bunch of former first-round picks, causing big plays. The Niners gave them a couple gifts. And give San Francisco some credit, too. I mean, it's an awful good team to not take those gifts and capitalize on it like these guys were saying.
All right, in order to dissect the game today, we're going to play Fill the Gap. So everybody grab your whiteboard. I have a few statements for you.
Have an eraser. Does this come into play?
Yes, you're going to need it. You're going to need it. All right, our first statement is, I blank the trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, this is a guy who arrived in Pittsburgh on Tuesday, kind of went through a crash course, learning as much as he could, and we saw an interception. So let's see, Matt, we'll have you go first for this one.
All righty. I adore the trade of
that's a
Minkah
good word.
Fitzpatrick. Yes. I very much believe that they viewed him as a top 5 or 6 player on their board 1 year ago, much like they did with Bush. And if you get the opportunity to add 2 of those players at the weakest spot on the defense, you jump all over it. I mean, I mentioned in the San Francisco game, the Niners gave the Steelers some gifts. Well, the Dolphins gave the Steelers a gift here too, much like the Browns did when they released Joe Hayden. You jump on those things.
All right, Wolf?
Oh, man, I had to go love. Yeah, and I
No
even
heart?
spelled it right.
No heart?
No heart.
No heart.
No. I mean, like I said, you could ruin a reputation in one quick afternoon here. All right, but I did get it right. I was 3rd in my 6th grade spelling bee, or was it 6th in my 3rd? I can't remember.
Well,
Right. Anyhow,
you could do LUV too.
there you
Slang
go.
it.
The biggest point about this is you love what you got in this young man. Having an opportunity to talk with him, you can tell the guy is a thinker, and he's able to really thinkerate his way through several positions. You talked to Terrell Edmonds, which I had the opportunity on the show that he does, and one of the things he espoused was the fact that Minkah is a guy that is terrific. He's great in communication. He's great, and the ball just seems to find him. He's one of those guys. You got a little bit of that something, that magic. On 4 or 5 days practice, to come up with an interception and come away with a forced fumble and all the banging he did. I thought it was remarkable, and I think this guy it's a portend of what's to come.
All right, Pomp, what'd you write down?
I violated the rules already. I put 3 words.
That's okay, as long as it makes sense.
Liked, not loved. And here's why. I mean, the guy is tremendous. Anytime you can get a first-round talent, you go after it, I suppose. And I look at it like, okay, this is their next year's first-round pick. They essentially got an 11th overall pick who they coveted high. That's fine. But to me, even when he's on the field making plays like we saw yesterday, that doesn't solve all of their problems. They have a lot of other issues that need to be, I think, settled, Missi, and specifically getting off the field. You know, the killer to me was after they scored on the big 76-yard home run to Juju Smith-Schuster. What happened? 10 plays, 75 yards, boom. San Francisco goes right down the field and erases it. That's when a defense has got to step up. I think this guy's going to be a great addition, but I think they need other people. And so it's something I liked, not necessarily loved.
Okay. All right. Erase your boards, guys.
Okay.
We have another statement coming for you. This one, of course, is about Mason Rudolph. Mason's first start was blank. We knew what was going to happen. This wasn't like the Seattle game where he found out at halftime he was going in for quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger had an entire week to prepare, got all the first team reps, and really was able to help maybe tailor that game plan around him. So, Pomp, we're going to start with you on this one. How many words do we have this time?
I think I'm smelling too much of this stuff. It's starting to affect me.
Guys, man, you're rule
No,
violators.
I'm rule violators. I said, this is my take. What I expected.
Okay.
Okay? Because I don't know what to expect out of a guy I've never really seen before. I know his talent is spectacular, and I think in time he's going to be a really good quarterback. I think they got it right when they drafted him, where they drafted him, because of the value at that point. But I thought the game plan kind of hurt him a little bit, because I would have liked, his strength to me is when he goes down the field. He does a lot of good things when he goes down the field, and I didn't see any of that in the first basically 2.5 quarters. And I wanted to see more of that, just if no other reason, to open things up a little bit, because it seemed like, here's the deal, with the Steelers and no AB, the problem is everyone on the other side knows they don't have to worry about him. So those double teams that used to exist, now there's a free man because they're not double teaming Juju all of the time. So that guy, where does he go? He goes in the box. He stuffs around. At least, Matt, you know more of this breakdown than I do, and Wolf, you've been there. But it seems to me like that guy is making it hard for them to run. They got to figure out other things there, and I think it was harder for Rudolph. So it's what I expected in his first game.
Okay, Wolf.
Oh, easy. It was bumpy. That's all. It's one of those things that you expect from a young guy coming out facing a very volatile, high-voltage defense such as the 49ers got. You got some defensive linemen out there. They're like T-Rexes. Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt. They're T-Rexes. This was a line full of Raptors, and they were running all over the place.
Toronto?
What's that?
Toronto
No,
Raptors?
not Toronto.
Oh, okay.
All right. They were running, 7 different guys through there. They changed all the jersey numbers, and they kept fresh troops, and they kept coming. And you know, with Mason, Mason's a perfectionist. He's one of these guys, you watch him. He goes about his business, and it's due diligence all the time. He's always preparing. And one of the things that you saw was as it started, each third down was an incompletion or didn't make a third down. You could feel like the pressure kind of ratcheted up a little bit, and then he unloaded that nice 76-yarder, to Juju, and it was just a great play, and then Deontay. And I think that was key and significant for him, and I think I look for better things to come. This young man is a gamer, and he is one of those guys that you really love to be in the battle with, because he sticks with it and fights all the way to the end.
Yeah, I said a work in progress. I mean, pretty
Yes.
much the same as both of you said. And to echo what you guys said too, I mean, that defensive line for San Francisco is going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people this year. And I would have liked to see them still take more shots. I mean, I know protection was an issue, but you got to get people out of the box. You got to make them more room to become a balanced team. I'm a big believer in Rudolph, so that's part of why I was a big fan of the Minkah trade, because I don't know that they'll be in the market for a quarterback after the season. But I think it's a work in progress. I mean, kind of like what you should expect for a young guy in a tough situation making his first start. It's rarely does that go well.
All right, guys, you can put your whiteboards away. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, put on your coaching hats. I want to know what you guys thought was the biggest problem and how you would fix it if you had the power. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Steelers Roundtable.
We got turnovers in the first half. We settled for field goals. They got turnovers in the second half and scored touchdowns. And so thus the outcome. When you get them down, you got to work in concert as a football team. And they worked in better concert than we did. When we put their defense on the short field in the first half, they made us settle for 3. When our defense was on the short field in the second half, they got touchdowns. And so it's all of us collectively. That's football teams. We didn't do enough today to win it. We didn't work in concert to accentuate the positive. We didn't work in concert well enough to minimize the negative.
Maybe desperation.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, it has to be. I mean, that's
mean, we're trying, that's for sure. I mean, everyone came to work with a good attitude, and I think that'll keep going, keep happening. And, we have another choice in this league. You just got to keep coming. No one's going to feel sorry for you. No one's going to look at you as an easy game. You got to keep coming.
All right, as I promised, we are now going to let the guys put on their coaching hats and diagnose maybe what they thought was the biggest problem and what they will do to fix it going into week 4. Over here on this set now is Bob Pompiani and Craig Wolfley with me. And Pomp, what's your problem to fix and how are you doing it?
Okay, I'm talking about stopping the run, Missy, because this has got to be, we talked about a lot, running the ball, why that's got to be better, but stopping the run. So far, we've seen the last 2 games, both Seattle and San Francisco just pretty much ran as much as they could, over 160 yards and then over 170 yards. That's too many yards to give up. And quite frankly, to me, the linebackers aren't doing enough. Mark Barron, Devin Bush. While the stats can look one way, and I think Devin Bush is going to be a great player, don't get me wrong here.
Sure.
But he's being pushed off the ball. I don't think he's handling the blocks well enough. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but those tackles are happening 4, 5, 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. And for me, they have to come up and support that a lot better, or else it's an invitation for a lot of teams in the NFL to do the same thing.
All right, Wolf, what do you not like and how do you want to fix it for week 4?
I want to run the ball. I mean, there's no
You
big
do?
secret.
Not you.
Yes, absolutely. You know it. I mean, just like you're going into a buffet. Baby, put it down and the gear down and go. And that's what I want to see. So to do that, I think one of the best things you can do is put them in a 3-point stance every now and then. Don't always be in a 2-point because it's hard to get your momentum rolling forward. Get in a 3-point, get a downhill bang, put your forehead right in that man's chin and just bang him off the ball and consistently go after it. Look, I learned an important element of the run game when I was growing up as a kid. My uncles had a construction company. I was the one who I was given that sledgehammer and I had to crack the cement. So I'd bang away with on the cement, swinging the hammer. Grab, nothing's happening after 20 minutes. Stay with it, boy. 40 minutes, nothing. Stay with it. Finally, an hour, it cracked. But that's the way it is with the run game. You hammer away, and be patient and have that opportunity to crack the defensive rock.
All right, very quickly, let me ask both of you this. Are you worried at all about James Conner?
No, not the runner. I think psyche-wise, this fumble thing, maybe playing on his mind a little bit too much because I see a lot of times it looks like his number one issue is to make sure that ball doesn't come out. And as a result, he's a little too hesitant for me. What makes him great and what made him great at Pitt and last year as a Pro Bowler was his ability to hit the holes, go after quickly, and not worry so much. Yes, you have to, secure the football.
Right.
But if that's your number one thing and that's all you're thinking about or that preoccupies you, I think you become a slower runner.
There's no question that's a possibility, but I think James is well-versed enough to know this is some of the problems that come along with being a top-flight ball carrier, and you will have something like this. It's up to the rest of the boys to rally around, bring them up, and get them going. This whole running game, it's not one man, it's 11 out there with a balled-up fist going after it. So I think it's going to work itself out. Running games generally take a little longer to get going.
All right, guys, I hope both the problems that you're stating here are fixed in how you said so. Week 4 against the Bengals at Heinz Field. We're going to take another quick break. Matt will rejoin us. We're going to go over the time capsules. I don't think they're going to be too good this week, but we'll see what everybody had to say. We'll be right back.
We were in an advantageous situation. Like I said, you only want to surrender 3. We just got to finish that damn play. We're right there, and games come down to inches, and you got to make those plays. I don't know what happened.
As a defense, we communicated very well. We played fast. We created a lot of turnovers, and we're just 2-3 plays away. You know what I'm saying? We got a bad call on the 3rd down, and honestly, there's a couple other plays that we could have played better on, but. Overall, I think we're in a good spot. We're going to go out there next week, get a win, and just learn from this week and just keep moving forward.
All right. Drum roll, please. It's time for Time Capsule, which has not gone well for any of us this season. So let's see.
Reveal?
Pomp, you're up first. The run game will come to life.
I think yes, it has to. It's been dead so far, and I think for them to have any success moving forward, they have to have a run game that's going to be what you'd expect it to be. They have an offensive line, a lot of money invested in the offensive line. Therefore, it's a strength. Those are tools that should allow you to do which you're supposed to do in creating holes for guys like James Conner. I hope that Jalen Samuels is more part of it because I think he offers a different kind of skill set that they need. But I got to believe it's going to come together. But I also know that will only be available if the pass game opens up a little bit and people start to separate, and that gives other defenses an opportunity to say, hey, we got to watch this or this or this, so that you can't load the box the way teams have done.
All right, let's
So yes, I think it
Who
will.
else we got here? Matt, the Steelers offense with Mason will look more like the 49ers offense than under Ben.
Yeah, it didn't quite come to fruition. I mean, I did expect a lot more play action, design quarterback movement, pre-snap motion, things of those nature, you know, designing things to get Juju the football more no matter what, get people out of the box, and just have a different feel for it. Play action in particular, and we did see some of that, and we absolutely saw some of it in the Seattle game when Rudolph came into the game. They changed the way they played offense, so I think that's encouraging because they have to. They just can't, you know, they need more X's and O's as opposed to Jimmy's and Joe's right now.
Okay. Let's see here. All right, well, sorry, this one's mine. This was for you, though. I did say that this will be the game the O-line shines.
Well, you would think that's a great opportunity because
I really thought it would click this week.
Absolutely. Now, am I answering your question or are you answering your question?
No, it's okay. You can answer it. You know a lot more about the O-line than I do.
I get all confused on time capsules. So if this is Back to the Future.
These were our predictions heading into this
Oh, no
past
wonder. I
game.
answered it incorrectly then.
It's okay.
I answered it like you're asking me for next week, and you're going to reveal these answers. So I did it all backwards. My apologies.
The thing that would have been great is for the offensive line to have taken control on this game like they could have. And one of the things I think you can do that would greatly help and benefit an offensive line is let them get into a three-point stance every now and then. Get your downhill bang on. I mean, come on. A two-point stance is a little bit difficult to get that forward momentum. You want to come off and you put that forehead right in the guy's chin and you punch through and you roll over that front foot. Do all those good things, and good things happen when the running backs hit the hole. Plus, if you go under center and you have that opportunity to play action where the quarterback turns his back, hides the ball, like Mason did.
Mason do on the advanced touchdown.
You saw that against Seattle. That was shades. That was vintage Boomer Esiason in the 1980s. Okay, hide that ball, carry out the ball fake. And I thought and would have thought that would have been a bigger part of the offense. And I think it's something to do because that way with the linebackers, they don't see everything laid out in front of them from the shotgun.
All right, well, if this one is yours, this is you
I
kind of
combined the
answered
two
it.
of
You
us,
did.
yes.
That was good. You wanted to see more under center and play action.
Well, because of my greater intelligence and the fact that I misconglomerate things together, I answered both.
Together and it worked. It
I
worked.
answered both questions all at once, which I'm just going to sit down. I already am. So anyhow, I think the biggest thing is, again, the play action, being able to get and give that offensive line an opportunity to get some downhill bang on. That, to me, is huge.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today on the Steelers Roundtable. That is going to do it for us. Don't forget, this is a Monday night game the Steelers are preparing for at Heinz Field against the Cincinnati Bengals. That means Coach Tomlin's press conference is on Wednesday this week at noon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.